Hello grade 11s. Today we're going to be going on to special angles, and it's going to be from slides 29 to 36 from the PowerPoint trigonometry. Okay, so there's going to be two types of special angles that we're going to look at. The first set of special angles we're going to look at is 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360. So if we look at a Cartesian plane, we know this is going to be 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270, and then back to 360. Now, you know with trig functions, sine, cos, and tan, we're dealing with x, y, and r values. And you've seen that r is a radius. So if we have some set length, r, we can sweep it around like this and it'll make a circle. Now, I can make my r value whatever I want. Just for simplicity, I'm going to make r 1. Okay, so if we start with a length of 1 here, we know it's going to cut at 1, 0. Then if we sweep that arm up here, we know it's going to cut over here. And that coordinate will be 0, 1. We carry on sweeping it, and it'll cut over here, and this coordinate will be minus 1, 0 down here, and we get a coordinate of 0, minus 1, and then back there. So you can see there's our circle forming there. So that is what we're going to use to answer these type of questions that have these special angles. Okay, so first of all, this first question here is asking, what is cos 0 degrees plus sine 270 degrees? These type of questions will always say without the use of a calculator. Okay, so first of all, I know that this is x over r, and then sine is y over r. So what I'm going to do at 0 degrees, here we are at 0 degrees, I'm going to look for my x value at 0 degrees. My x value is 1. My y value is 0. So that's the one that I'm looking at. So this would become 1 over our r value, we chose to be 1, plus, now we're looking at 270. And we're looking at our y value at 270, which is over here. So it's going to be minus 1 over our r value is 1. Okay, so 1 divided by 1 is just 1. Minus 1 divided by 1 is minus 1. Times that positive will give us minus 1. So our final answer is 0. Okay. Looking at the next one, we've got tan 360. We know that tan is y over x plus cos 180, and cos is x over r. So at 360 degrees, here we are. What is our y value at this point over here? Our y value is 0. So we get 0 over our x value at this 360 point is 1 plus. Now we're looking at 180 over here. And our x value at 180 is minus 1 over our r value is 1. 0 divided by 1 is 0. Minus 1 divided by 1 is minus 1, times that will give us minus 1. So we get 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Okay, tan of 90. We know that tan is y over x. So at 90 degrees, here's 90 degrees, our y value is 1 over our x value at 90 is 0. Now, 1 divided by 0 is undefined. So I'm just going to say UD for undefined. Next one. And grade 11s, you can try this on your calculator. Put tan of 90 in. Let's have a look and see what it gives us. Tan of 90 gives us a math error. And that's why, because you're dividing by 0. Okay, so next one, cos is x over r, sine is y over r. Okay, so for this first one, we're looking at 180. Here we are. What is our x value at 180? It's minus 1 over. What is our r value? It's 1 multiplied by, now we're looking at 90 degrees, and it's y over r. So at 90, our y is 1 over, and our r value is 1. Minus 1 divided by 1 is minus 1, multiplied by 1 divided by 1 is 1. So our final answer is minus 1. Okay. So special angles of 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Use this method. The next one we're going to look at is special angles of 30, 45, and 60. Now, with these special angles, there's numerous ways that you can do these. There's a table method, a fan method. I like the triangle method. Okay, so just draw up two triangles like I have here. 60, 30, that's 90. 45, 45, and that is 90. And what we do is we just count. Grade 11s, we go 1, 2, 3. That is in a square root. Okay, these sides are going to be equal because these angles are equal, so that's equal to that. If I make this one 1, that one will also be 1, and this will be root 2. Okay, so just memorize those triangles. If you guys prefer to use the fan method or the table method, that's fine by me as well. Okay, so let's have a look how we do these ones now. So before I carry on, I know that sine is going to be y over r, and cos is going to be x over r. Now, what I want you guys to remember that x is adjacent, y is opposite, and r is your hypotenuse. Okay, you remember those two things that we remembered. We had x, y, and r, adjacent, opposite, hypotenuse. That's what they are. Okay, so here we've got 4 multiplied by, now we're looking at sine 30. So here's our angle 30. Now y is opposite. So the side opposite this 30 is 1. Okay, so that is 1 over. Now our r is the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is always opposite the 90. So that's 1 over 2 multiplied by, now we're looking at 45 degrees. Grade 11s, it doesn't make a difference if you look at this one or this one. It's going to be the same thing. Okay, so I'm just going to look at this one. Now x is adjacent. So the side that is adjacent to 45, well, we have two sides that are adjacent. It's this one or this one. But it can't be this one because this one is the hypotenuse. It's opposite the 90. So this has to be your adjacent side to 45. So x is adjacent, so that is 1 over, our r is the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is root 2. I can simplify this. So 2 will cancel with that and we're left with 2. Then 2 times 1 is just 2. And at the bottom we have 1 times root 2. And there's our answer. Okay, moving on to question B. I'm just going to fill in my x, y, and r's for each one of the trig functions. So tan is y over x, cos is x over r, and tan is y over x. Okay, I'm just going to make a note here because this is squared. Whatever we substitute here must be squared. All right, so we're looking at 60 degrees. Y is opposite, so the side opposite 60 degrees is root 3 over x is the adjacent side. So again, remember that this is the hypotenuse, that can't be the adjacent. So there's your adjacent side there, it's 1. Okay, minus, I know whatever I'm going to get in the bracket here is going to be squared. So it's x over r for 45. So x is adjacent, so adjacent is 1 over our hypotenuse is root 2. Plus, we're looking at 45, y over x, so that's opposite over adjacent, so opposite is 1, and adjacent to 45 is 1. Okay, let's get rid of these brackets. So root 3 over 1 minus, now 1 squared is just 1, root 2 squared is 2, plus, and this is going to give us 1 over 1. Okay, so if we work this out, we can get just put it on your calculator, or no, let's not use the calculator. Root 3 over 1 minus a half plus 1 is plus a half. And then we can just get an LCD of 2. So all over 2. That'll give us 2 root 3 plus 1. And there's your answer for that. Okay, moving on to example 3. Now, example 3 is going to be a combination of both those special angles that we've just learnt. Okay. So for this one here, I'm just going to put in my x, y, and r. So this is y over r, and it's squared. Then cos is x over r, and this is squared, and that's that. Okay, so the question reads to us, we have to prove the following without the use of a calculator. So I have to break it down left-hand side, right-hand side. So left-hand side, right-hand side. Okay. So if we look at sine 270, now just going back to your other special angles here, we can see that sine is y over r. So at 270, our y value is minus 1. So we have minus 1 over, and our r value is 1. And that was squared. Okay, so I'm just going to work what this out is. So this is minus 1 divided by 1 is minus 1 squared. Minus 1 squared is 1. Okay, let's look at the right-hand side now. We have 1 minus, now cos at 270, here's 270, is x over r. So we have our x value here is 0. So it's 0 over, and our r value is 1. And that is squared. Okay, so 1 minus, now 0 divided by 1 is still 0, squared, and we get 1 minus 0 squared is 0, and then 1 minus 0 is 1. Okay, so we have proved that the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. Okay, the next one we're going to be looking at is this one over here. So we've got x over r for this one. Cos is x over r. Cos is x over r. Sine is y over r. And sine is y over r. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we're going to get minus. I'm going to go back to our other special angles over here. So we're looking at 45 degrees, and it's cos. So x, which is adjacent, over r, which is a hypotenuse. So it's 1 over root 2. 1 over root 2. Simplify this, and we get minus 1 over root 2. Okay, so let's see what's on the right-hand side now. Okay, at 90. Cos at 90 is x over r. So our x value is 0, r value is 1. So this is 0 over 1 for that first one, multiplied by cos of 45. Let's have a look at 45. So it's x over r, adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's 1 over root 2. Minus sine of 90 is y over r. So here we are at 90. Y is 1, r is 1. So we get 1 over 1. And then sine of 45 is y over r. So 45, y over r is opposite over adjacent. So it's 1 over root 2. 1 over root 2. If I simplify this, I get 0 over 1, which is just 0, times by 1 over root 2. Okay, this one I'm just going to do 1 time. So we got 1 times 1 is 1, over 1 times root 2 is root 2. 0 times anything just falls away, and we're left with minus 1 over root 2. So left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. Right, grade 11s, I would like you to do exercise 7.3, number 2 and 3 for me, please. Thank you.